Would you explain to us what you're doing right now?
So right now I'm spinning wool from a sheep. This has been mechanically processed and carded into a long continuous roving that I can just pull out and spin. And I pull with my right hand out just enough, the thickness that I want. And the wheel spins it and it rolls up onto the spindle here. And once I get a lot rolled here, I'll move it to a separate hook. And now it'll start winding up right next to the spindle. So as I'll move it from hook to hook, and it'll wind evenly onto that bobbin.
I see. And you're moving the itself with your foot.
Right. The treadle is hooked to the larger wheel. The larger wheel is connected to the spinning assembly here by the strings. And every time this larger wheel goes around once, it causes this spinning part to go around 10 times. So it's a 10 to 1 ratio. So this is really just to speed this up.
Now, would you dye it later to make the kind of colors that you wanted? Or would
You can dye it at any time. You can dye the fleece, you can dye the yarn, you can dye the finished product. And there are many natural items you can use for dyeing. Barks of the tree, berries, nuts, fruits, leaves. There are many things you can use. Flowers.
You have quite a whole bag here of wool.
Right, now that's not very colonial because that's been done in a factory on a machine.
The wool that's in the bag?
The brown wool, right, is mechanically carded. If I were going to card, now the wool right off from a white, this is from a white sheep, is rather tangly and full of debris, so I'll put it on the cards. So this is what you would do before you...
Don't be shy, folks. They're looking for volunteers to come up and join them in dancing. I'm shy.
Now, what are you doing? What is this called?
This is called carding.
Carding.
These are my cards.
Okay.
All the little pins here are bent down towards the handle.
Okay.
So as I have the handles in opposite directions, the pins are going in opposite ways and they're combing, so you can see it. And then I can flip it over. And
so it separates the fibers.
right, well it combs them all so they're going in the same direction now.
Okay.
So let's give this one more. And this should probably be carded a lot more, but I'll take it off to show you. Now when you turn it with the handles in the same direction, I can get it loose. So as this comes off, now all these fibers, now you see there's still some debris in there and whatnot. This could be carded more. But all the fibers are now going in this direction. So if I roll it this way,
you roll it up.
All the fibers are going in the same direction.
Oh, of course.
And as I pull it out, and it spins, now you're making worsted wool.
That's worsted wool.
Right. This is very good for suit clothing. And now if I...
Can you determine how thick that strand is? Or is it the strands that are on the wheel generally all the same thickness?
The thickness is all in your hands. You feel how thick, and you decide I want to make it thick or thin, and you have to just be consistent and feel that with your fingers.
Okay.
Now if I took this off and rolled it in a different way, which is going to be hard for the wind, but if I roll this way instead, I have a long skinny roll here, and now all the fibers are doing this.
Okay.
And as I pull this off, all the fibers are coming off in a spiral, which will make a loftier, fluffier woolen wool that you would want to make a hat or a sweater or something like that.
Ah.
Okay, so that's the two different styles of woolens.
My, oh
So
my.
this is all carded in a worsted way, so all the fibers are running in the same direction. So if I were really doing this in colonial days, I'd have to card up the whole fleece. I'll probably have my children card it.
Other people would help you.
And then once I had, I can card some and spin some and card some and spin some if I want. I could attach this to here and go white. Another thing I have is the drop spindle, and I've got, this has become unrolled, but I've got some. So this is an earlier technology than the spinning wheel, and the spinning of the spindle, I just draw out as much as I want and get the thickness I want. I can, pull out a whole bunch and have fat wool.
It's also much more portable, isn't it? You can
Yes.
take that places you certainly wouldn't take the wheel.
It has been known by many names.
So once I've got a length here, and I can
Oldest
stand
name
up
is
and hold my
Trench
arms
Moor.
over my head and have a 6
Later
foot length,
as Sir Roger
then
de
we want to
Coverley.
roll it up
In this country, it's most often known now as the
and
Virginia
roll it onto
reel.
the
There are real
shaft.
differences you can
And
argue
do some
about
more.
Right.
between these dances depending on which collection you look in. But they're
Now I can
recognizably
do
the
some
same dance. So I'll call it Sir Roger de Coverley as more of an 18th century name for it. Let's have the original top couple back up to the top so that you can dance it with the music now you practice it.
Whoops, now look connected with that.
Now, will you actually make clothing beyond this, or do you supply this to others? So you've got quite a bit of yarn
personally,
there.
I do this mostly for these exhibits, doing a workshop or a demonstration. This brown wool, I've decided I'm going to spin this all up and weave it into a coverlet for my bed.
Huh.
So I'm going to buy some linen warp and weave the brown wool into it with a nice pattern and hopefully have a nice cozy cover for my bed.
Thank you so much. This is wonderful.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.